Hello everyone, this is Tammy Woolgenbush, and today we're going to be making this pretty card using a couple different techniques. One, we're going to be embossing, and then also this is a Z-fold card, so we're going to be learning how to do a little bit different of card style. Fun fold, as they call it. And so I'm again going to use the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. This is right now my absolute favorite, and it's only available through the end of this month. It is part of Stampin' Up Celebration, which goes through September 30th. What Celebration is you get free products when you spend either $50 or $100. The majority of the products in here are if you spend $50, or for every $50 you spend, you can get an item. They have very pretty papers. They have some different stamp sets. Now, the Delicate Dahlias stamp set is actually free with a $100 purchase. So since it's a little bit more of a in-depth stamp set, it does require a $100 purchase, but it is well worth it. The stamps are just absolutely gorgeous, and this stamp in particular, the larger flower, it's called a distinctive stamp, and so essentially it picks up ink in different amounts, and so gives it a really 3D look, which you can kind of see here. And also I have some other cards. I did a video on making these cards, but again, you can see just the variations in the ink itself when it is stamped. So just a gorgeous set. Again, it does require, it's free with a $100 purchase, and so well worth it though. So if you need any help with getting a purchase, don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, you can let me know. So let's get started here. So for this card, we are starting with a basic 5.5 by 8.5 sheet of paper, so basically half of a piece of cardstock. And how we're going to score this for the Z fold is, on one side we're going to score and fold at 2 1/8 inch. All right, so 2 1/8 inch. And then we're going to score as we normally would at 4 1/4 inches. So basically you're taking the front flap, which is 4 1/4 inches, and we are folding it in half, which is where you get the 2 1/8 inch. All right, and so we're just going to fold the card over. I always use my trusty bone folder to really get that crease nice. So now we have a basic card. Now to do the Z fold, it's very easy. Once we've scored it basically in half, we just take this half and fold it back and score it again. And that gives us that fun, cute flap that just opens up just a little bit different than a regular card. And so sometimes just it's kind of nice to have a little bit of extra pizzazz for the cards. So what we're going to do first is we are going to stamp on some white cardstock the flowers. So this piece of white cardstock is isn't that horrible? I believe, oh, that's right. So it's 3.5. Yeah. So this is 3.5 by 4 inches. So just a little bit of a rectangle. And the black, which we will mat it on, this is 3 5/8 and 4 1/8. So it's just an 1/8 of an inch larger, which will give it just a nice narrow mat. So I didn't want too much of a mat. A lot of times I'll go a full 1/4 inch for a mat, but this time I just wanted a little bit of an 1/8 of an inch just to give it a little bit of a color. So it's 3 5/8 by 4 1/8. Sometimes I have a hard time with those 8s, so forgive me. Okay, so for the flower, I am going to use Memento Tuxedo Black and Mary Merlot. So sorry, I forgot to mention that this cardstock is Mary Merlot. So that's the colors that we're going to use today. So I'm going to do this outline in the black and then the flower in the Mary Merlot. Okay, so here I have the outline, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but I put a little arrow on, you might be able to see it better there, on the top of the stamp, and I did it on this one as well. You can see it a little bit better there. And this helps, especially on these 2-layer stamps, it helps me to kind of orient it. So I just try to make sure that the arrow is pointing up, straight up, and then it's easier for me to overlay the second stamp. I got that idea. I was watching somebody, and I just thought that was an awesome idea, and it really does help, especially for this kind of an intricate stamp. If you're not oriented, it can be really hard to line it up, but even just a little orientation can help tremendously. So, all right, so I inked this up in the black, and I'm going to stamp it here. Oops, sorry, I started to do it and it's probably going to mess up. I'm going to get my little foam here. These photopolymers do better with foam, with some sort of foam backing. So, okay, there we go. And I like to clean my stamps off right away, so I'm just going to get that. So now I am going to get this stamp. And I'm going to do something a little bit different than I did on my practice card. My practice card, I went full ink. But I'm going to stamp off because I felt it was a little bit dark before. So we'll see if we like this better than the other one. But just going to kind of stamp off to get off some of that ink. And forgive me if my head's in the way. I want to get this nice and lined up. And really help it to kind of transfer all of that ink. There we go. And I didn't get it very good lined up. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. It's still pretty, and I do like the stamped off look. I just felt that this was a little bit dark, and I really like that look a little bit better. So very cool. I like that. All right. So now what we're going to do with this is we are going to do some heat embossing. And we're going to emboss the saying, and I'm just going to do happy birthday. And this happy birthday is actually from the Artistically Inked stamp set, which is in the main bundle. I just really wanted kind of a narrow and longer sentiment to put down here underneath the flower. So that's kind of why I chose the happy birthday. And again, you could just stamp it in either black ink or the Mary Merlot, but I really wanted to use some heat embossing. I've been trying to use a little bit more of it, and I almost forgot. I'm gonna rub this with my Stampin' Buddy, I think is what this is called. Basically helps to take off the static from the paper so that the the embossing powder doesn't stick. So and I'm gonna put this towards the bottom a little bit because I decided that I want to try to put a little ribbon there. I did not on the other one, but decided that I wanted to try on this one. So so now to emboss, and I'm actually going to make sure to cover up my Versamark so I don't get any powder or anything on it. So I am using black embossing powder because I wanted the words to be in black. So embossing is actually very easy. You use a Versamark stamp pad, which is basically just a clear clear ink, and it's sticky and stays wet for a while, so it picks up the powder. So then I'm just going to put the powder over that. And I just kind of flick it a few times just to get off, make sure everything else is off, and there we go. And you can see that it has the powder. So now, that was pretty clean. I didn't get too much in there, but I'm going to go ahead and sweep this. And I really like this little funnel thing here. I think is just, it's a beading craft thing. I just went on Amazon and got a beading craft thing. And this is just honestly an old makeup brush to help get all the powder in. And it works pretty well to keep all the powder there. Now I'm just going to, embossing can be kind of messy, so I'm getting that off there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my heat gun, and this is kind of loud, so I do apologize, so just bear with me. Basically, we have just a standard heat gun, and give it a little bit to kind of warm up. And then I just start at one end. And we'll see if you can see when it starts to go, it sees like right there. Right now it's kind of going. And that just sets it really nice. All right. Oops. Come on. There we go. All right, and it does sometimes kind of curl the paper, and just kind of get it straightened again. And hopefully, yep, there we go. Cool. So, and embossing is so, it just adds a little bit something extra to the paper, and it's just, you know, it just gives it a raised feel. So now I'm going to use some black glitter ribbon, and this is what I didn't do on the last one and thought I would go ahead and decided I kind of wanted something a little bit extra. So I'm not going to tie a full bow. I'm just going to tie a little knot here. And I think I'm going to try to go right in the middle. Okay, I feel I'm tying challenged today. There we go. I'm trying to get this. There we go. All right. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think it just adds just a little bit something extra. I'm going to trim this a little bit more. I don't want that over the birthday. So kind of cut those a little bit shorter than I maybe usually do, but they're very pretty. I like that. And the other thing I think I'm going to do is last time I just glued this onto the black, but I am going to pop it up with some dimensionals. Let me find my dimensionals here. Okay. There we go. So yeah, I think I wanted to add a little, I liked my template that I made, but after I kind of got the general layout, sometimes it's like, oh, I want to add a little bit extra something, a little bit of, again, this just dimension and, you know, a little bit more for the ribbon. Okay, come on. Just to give it a little bit something extra. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we have that. So now we are going to do this part of the card. And I wanted to do a little bit of something on here. A lot of times I'll put like designer series paper, and I didn't have any, so I decided to emboss the smaller flower from the Delicate Dahlias set. So this flower right here. So I decided to emboss it. And this one I did black, and I like that look, but I wanted to, again, try something different on this one. So we're gonna actually emboss clear and see if I like that. I may like the black better, but at least it will give me, well, we'll see how it looks. Okay, so again, just getting my embossing buddy, I think is what they call it, to get all the static off. Okay. And so now I'm going to, yeah, because I want to go off the side. So here, maybe we'll do it this way. There we go. Okay. That looks good. Again, there's something. And sometimes what you can do is they'll use Versamark ink and you can just leave it like that. And it gives it like a watermark look. I want to emboss it though and see how it looks. So we will do that. So this is just clear embossing powder. And this one tends to use a lot of this. We want to make sure we get all of the flowers with the embossing powder. And I mean, you can see I kind of left a big area there, but honestly, that's going to be, that's where this piece is going to go. Sorry, I can't talk today. That's where that piece is going to go. So that's why I'm leaving that like that. Okay, and I'm just going to put this off to the side and I'll put it back in there later. Okay. Make sure to get all of that embossing powder off of my area here. Okay, so now we are going to use the heat gun again. So it will be a little bit loud. Okay. There we go. Ooh, I kind of like that. I think I like that better than the black, actually. Very cool. All right, so now I'm going to glue this piece on. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus. And now, you know, of course, when you're gluing this, we have to remember that it's only going over, we only want to put tape or glue on this section here. Okay, so this section over here, we don't want to put on the whole thing because a part of it's going to overlay. So we'll just kind of guesstimate there. And then sometimes what I'll do is just make sure and put a little bit, you know, it's going to go right in here. So put a little bit of tape right on that too, just to make sure that it adheres down really good. So let me line this up where I think I want it. Okay. And there we go. Okay, I really do. I like the clear much better than the black. That looks very pretty. I thought I'd really like the black, but wow, that clear just, you know, even though it's clear, it just gives it that watermarked look, and it's addicting to touch. I just love the feel of embossing. So, oh, so excited. Okay, so now we're not quite done yet, okay, because we need to do the inside of the card. I always like to, especially when it's the cardstock is this dark, you have to put some white on there so people can write. And I always like to decorate the inside, so you can see. Now, usually I use a larger piece of paper, but since this piece here is smaller, I decided to cut the inside down a little bit so you can't see it up above. So, so I have a standard piece of white, and I cut it the same as the black, so 3 5/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, and we are going to decorate the inside of the card then and the envelope. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the small flower again, but this time I am going to use the outline in black and then the inside in the Mary Merlot. So, and for this flower, the small flower, I did do the arrow as well, just like I did on the larger flower, but this one's a little easier to line up, but still, I put that, so that's why it's kind of cockeyed here. Okay, put that there. And then my standard white envelope, I'm going to just do one little flower over in that corner. I don't know why. For me, when I do envelopes, I like to decorate the left corner. I don't know. I could do both corners. Actually, let's go ahead and do that today. We're going to decorate both corners today. This is kind of a small flower, so there we go. Okay, clean that off now. And let's see, where's my lid? I want to make sure to close that so the ink doesn't dry out. So now we have our small flower, and we're going to do the Mary Merlot for that. And I'm going to use the Stampin' Up technique again, like I did with the larger flower, just to kind of be consistent. Okay. And line this up. Forgive me if my head's in the way. There we go. That's so pretty. I just love this stamp set. I mean, I love that they have it available. I'm kind of sad that it's only a celebration stamp set, because it is my favorite, and I would love for people to be able to buy it. I think I could, I mean, I am just in awe at all the very cute cards I'm going to be able to make with it. And I would love to share it more with people, but it's available for such a limited time. It's awesome that you can get it for free, but I know that it makes it difficult when it's only offered for a certain period of time. Okay, so there we go. So the envelope is stamped and the inside is stamped. So now I'm going to actually glue the interior. Put glue because it gives me a little more wiggle room than the Stampin' Seal Plus to kind of line it up. So, all right, and goodness gracious. Okay, gonna put this right in the middle, and yep, that's gonna line up pretty good. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there we go. There is the final card with the envelope. So yeah, so there's the final card. Again, I was really happy. You know, it uses the embossing technique, and it's just a fun little Z fold. So just a little bit different of a card. And there's the original that I made. I do definitely like this one with the clear embossing and then the stamping off. I really like the look of that. So anyway, so that is a Z-fold card, some techniques with the heat embossing, and again, that Delicate Dahlia stamp set, which is only good you can only get it for less than a week. So if you like the stamp set as much as I do, please contact me. I am happy to work with you to help you figure out how you can also earn this beautiful stamp set. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care.